We begin with the failed execution of Thomas Creech. He was sentenced to die by lethal injection, but those assigned to administer the lethal fluids were not able to insert the needle into his veins.
At 10:58, that's when the execution was halted. That's when it was announced. They couldn't find, they weren't able to have any successful attempts. So that's when it was halted.
Our Jordan Smith is live in Boise tonight with what happened. Jordan?
Yeah, 73-year-old Thomas Creech was minutes away from lethal injection. He was strapped down in the death chamber. Everything was moving along schedule as it was planned. But medical professionals failed to administer an IV 8 separate times into Creech, prompting the state to step in and halt the execution.
At 10 a.m. this morning, serial killer Thomas Creech looked to be in his final moments.
Mr. Creech came into the room. He looked back at his witness room and his eyes started to fill with tears.
Creech waving several times to his family, mouthing a message to the witness room.
I could not hear what Mr. Creech said, but based on his lips moving, it looked like he said, "I'm sorry."
A medical team then tried to administer an IV into Creech, a task that was failed 8 consecutive times in a row. As a result, a lethal injection could not be administered, and the 73-year-old's execution was stopped.
And when it became clear that that wasn't going to be successful, that's when the execution was halted.
The state calling off the lethal injection 45 minutes into the procedure.
It wasn't a difficult decision. It was the right decision to halt any future attempts at trying to establish IV access. Let's call it, and we'll discuss next steps after that.
The state will now let Creech's death warrant expire. Idaho's longest-serving death row inmate back in his cell, living to see another day.
And Derek, that death warrant expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight. And this is the state's first failed execution. There's not a lot of precedent as to what or how the state will proceed moving forward. But we did ask the state what their next steps are. They say that those discussions will be taking place in the next couple of days. But if the state decides they want to pursue an execution moving forward, they'll have to acquire more chemicals needed for a lethal injection. Reporting live in Boise tonight, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
All right. Jordan, thank you. This afternoon, Idaho Governor Brad Little released a statement saying the competent and qualified medical professionals present and IDOC officials were cautious and did the right thing in not moving forward with the execution. My office will remain in close communication with IDOC about next steps. And about 2 hours ago, Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador also released a statement saying today is a sad day for the families of his victims and a continuation of the pain they've endured for almost 5 decades. Our duty is to seek justice for the many families and the many victims and their families who experienced the brutality and senselessness of his actions.